Ahoy, fellow boxing fans! Yeah, another terrific holiday of the sweet science comes on June 8th, which is tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. When Yurorkis Gamboa, el ciclón de Guantanamo, no pasarán, squares off against Darley Perez. The fight will take place in Montreal, Canada. Huh? Oh, Canada. Huh? Yeah, you know, I know some terrific Canadians, and I'm actually blessed to work with one of them. Dr. K. Dr. K. Yeah, okay, let's go back to boxing. So I think it's gonna be a good match. That's what's interesting, that both fighters have more similarities, I would say, than dissimilarities. They're close in age, both are in their prime, and terrific shape. Both are undefeated. So somebody's big round O must go, just go. And what's important also, that both have a significant KO ratio. Out of 28 opponents, Perez stopped 19 and Gamboa stopped 16 out of his 22 opponents. Both are Latinos speaking Spanish. Yeah, habla español. Tomarlo con calma, carnales. Yeah. Both fighters' original countries start with letter C or maybe K. Yeah. Like Gamboa is a Cuban, El Cubano, and Perez is a El Colombiano. Both of them have an extensive amateur career, and what's amazingly, then both of them fought a Russian, basically I would say unknown, boxer by the name Alexei Tishenko. And both of them actually lost to Tishenko. Yeah. I mean, it's not really funny because it's rather tragic, because Tishenko, no matter how an extraordinary fighter, the golden champion of the Olympic Games in Beijing 2008, Tishenko never turned pro. So you might say that, unfortunately, rest in peace, another boxing talent. Yeah. Perez is a very good and durable fighter with substantial power and good skills. He uses his footwork pretty efficiently. He's very keen on his focus, and he is a pressure fighter, relying mostly on his hand speed and power. And sometimes he disregards his defenses. Now Gamboa. Speaking Gamboa, I would say that he's a true Cuban fighter of an extraordinary talent. And speaking of Cuban fighters in general, I must say that they have a remarkable history. That Cuban boxing school was founded by the Soviet-Russian-Ukrainian boxing trainer Andrei Chervoninka. Yeah. Before the year 1960, about that time, there were a few good fighters already in Cuba, like Eligio Sardinias, nicknamed Kid Chocolate or Chocolate. Yeah, I guess the current WBO champ Peter Quillin adopted that nickname after Eligio Sardinias. Caramba. Or another good fighter, also Cuban, was by the name Geraldo Gonzalez. But it was only in 1960 when this Soviet trainer, Andrei Chervoninka, arrived to Cuba on the invitation of Fidel Castro. And when he established the proper Cuban boxing school the way it is today, the best boxing school in the world. And Yurorkis Gamboa is one of the best representative of this school. Yeah. As you know, all boxers, including the best ones, always start their boxing career by fighting a significant number of boxers with a negative record. But Gamboa never ever fought a boxer with a negative record. The very first fighter he fought as a professional, he had 7 fights with only 1 defeat. And his second opponent already had 7 fights and no losses. The third opponent of Gamboa had 40 victories and 11 only losses. And these numbers only improve as Gamboa moves along his career. So I should say that the quality of Gamboa's opponents is much, I would say in Spanish, mucho más better than those of Perez. So it's only one, but very huge difference between these two fighters. Gamboa has a terrific style. I love everything he does in the ring. The way he throws those combos with spectacular sighting punches, the way he makes his crafty footsteps, left, right, or diagonal steps this way, which creates those tricky angles with his footwork, and also doing torso moves and turns and ducks. His impeccable timing, as well as remarkable projection of his arms and forearms when he delivers his punches, all is simply magnificent. His hand speed is blazing. His footwork also is amazing. Well, no wonder why they call him El Ciclón, right? No pasaron. Well, some boxing experts, though, I would say that they labeled him as a suspect chin, referring to those couple occasions when Gamboa was knocked down. But I do not give credit to those flippant allegations of those boxing pundits. Yeah, it happens, sometimes. It happened early in his career, in Gamboa's career, when he was so much sure of himself, like a rooster, that he actually disregarded his defense. Moreover, to me, the one who falls on the floor and then gets up to win the fight is actually more of a champ than the one who is so cautious that he is afraid to commit himself into punching, who never goes down because he's an opportunistic, he's an opportunist sneaking in some punches from the safe distance. So what I'm trying to say that Gamboa is not afraid to mix it up. Moreover, I must say that Gamboa learned from his mistakes, he matured, and he does not repeat those flaws of defense anymore. Now Perez. Is Perez the one to handle his defeat to Gamboa? No, I don't think so. It is highly unlikely, I would say. It is too high order to Perez. He's a good, but not good enough to do that to Gamboa, and he cannot rely on his power and speed because in the face of Gamboa, he has a superior power puncher with crazy hand speed, so he cannot simply, do the same. In order to win, he should do something else. So what else he can do in order to win and try to beat Gamboa? Well, I would say that using his advantage of reach, he should keep Gamboa at a certain distance, and he should try to time the Gamboa's attacks and counter him immediately while doing a step back or to the side, which unfortunately is not in his arsenal. Also, what he could do, he could try to grab and tie Gamboa as much as he could do, so he can break down those tremendous attacks, and it could be helpful to him, to withstand it and regroup and do his own attacks. So once again, let's go back to Gamboa. I think if Gamboa does the same boxing which he always does, he will stop Perez somewhere between the 5th and 2nd rounds. what I would really like to see is a fight of Gamboa versus Floyd Mayweather. But I doubt it will ever happen because Floyd is too smart, you know, he will never fight anyone who potentially can beat him. But hey, whatever happens, whatever happens on June 8th, I think it will be the greatest fun to us to watch, especially Gamboa at his best. Peace. Tomarlo con calma, no pasarán.